Dr. Alka believes that leaders are not born but made. Dr. Alka Kalra is a leading international psychologist and professional counselor who has lived in the United Arab Emirates for the past 27 years. Dr. Alka's remarkable educational accomplishments include the following: a university gold medalist in the Masters of Psychology and a Master's in Education, PhD in Psychology, and postdoctoral research from the University of Pittsburgh, USA. She received a gold medal from the late Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, as the winner of the All India Best Cadet Award. Over the years, Dr. Alka has received and continues to shine as she has been granted numerous prestigious awards for the impactful contributions that she has made through her dedication and commitment towards the world of education. As a certified educational psychologist and a social therapist recognized by the Community Development Authority in Dubai, she conducts numerous psychoeducational assessments which explore areas for aptitude, intelligence, and learning difficulties, etc. She continues to pursue professional trainings throughout the world for teachers and parents. She is licensed parenting coach. As a true pioneer and visionary, she founded the EduScan School of Determination in 1995 in Abu Dhabi. Over the years, the school's presence has grown, and there are currently branches in both Dubai and Sharjah. Dr. Alka has always believed in the natural abilities and the hidden potential of each child. She is known as a crusader for special children, as she has developed powerful programs in the field of speech therapy, occupational therapy, and behavior therapy, which are delivered on-site and online. Let us now call upon our beloved Dr. Alka as she continues to inspire and guide us on this wonderful learning journey together. Thank you, Dr. Alka, once again.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lucia. Thanks a lot for such an elaborated introduction. Thank you very, very much.
Very good, Dr. Alka. Let us continue now with positive parenting. What is powerful parenting all about?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. And I think in life, what is ultimate is happiness. And I would say powerful parenting is where a parent is able to create a very happy environment at home, where you are happy and your children are happy. So when this relationship is full of happiness everywhere around, that is what is called powerful parenting. So a parent is not only a coach or a guide, but a parent has to see to it that the child, whatever his level of achievement is, but ultimately is happy as a human being. So emotional control is a very, very significant control, where everybody knows how to express yourself within that positive, conducive environment of home. Now, as we have these parents present here, I would want it very, very interactive. And let us understand the parents and what age group children do they have, so that we keep this talk very focused on your requirement. And I would suggest that you feel free and ask your questions so that you benefit the most. So may I request all the members here to unmute yourself, open your cameras for a while, and introduce yourself. Are you a parent, you're parenting a kid? How old is your child? I think then it is going to be very focused and of help to you. So Farha, I see as first. Farha Sheikh.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. My name is Farah Sheikh, and actually I'm working as a special educator in DPS Sharjah.
Your voice is a bit slow, Farah. Can you be a bit louder, please?
My name is Farah and I'm working in DPS Sharjah as a special educator.
All
DPS Sharjah. School.
Lovely, Farah. It's pleasure to have you here. Do you have
Thank
kids?
you, ma'am. No, I don't have kids, but actually we are dealing with parents. So in that time, it's very difficult for the parents to accept that the child having a difficulty. So I just joined your workshops to just see what kind of, so we can motivate our parents as well.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Farah, for joining us this afternoon.
Most welcome. Thank you, ma'am.
Javeria.
Hi, Dr. Kalra. How are you? Yeah. Hi, Miss Lucia.
Hello, dear.
Actually-
Good day.
I have two boys, and one is going to be 11, and other is going to be 6. And it's a little difficult to, with boys. I mean, it's very difficult for me to understand their mindset. So I feel they gel well with the daddy, but then with me, it's a little difficult. So I just thought let me attend the session and see how I can benefit with this.
Wonderful, lovely initiative, Javeria. I must congratulate you. And I'm sure by the end of the session, you'll be satisfied because we are going to talk about some things which are very, very significant. Wonderful initiative. And then we have Sumita here. Sumita? You're muted. So if you could unmute yourself, you can let your camera be closed, no problem, but you can just introduce and tell me, do you have children and how old are they? So as I see no movement on Smita, we will continue keeping the children 11-year-old and 6-year-old, is it, Javeria?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 6 and 11 years old, wonderful. Thank you so, so much for joining us. And now we're talking about powerful parenting today. How can we establish at home a very congenial environment and happiness for self and happiness for our children? That is what I say powerful parenting is all about.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. So keeping that in mind, the second question is, what steps can you take when your teenager is out of control?
All right. Thank you so much for your question, Ms. Lucia. And as Javeria is having a child, a boy who's 11-year-old, who's just entering his teens, I think this would be of interest to you. So see, teenage parenting is the most challenging parenting because when the kids are young, still possible to suggest them, guide them, get some kind of a support from them. But before I even move on to that, let me understand from two people who've been interacting with us, Javeria and Farah, what do you think is a job of a parent? So my question to Farah, Javeria and Sumita is that, what do you think? What is eventually a job of a parent? What should a parent do? What is the objective of parenting? Anybody would like to share your opinion?
It would be basic caretaking is definitely required. Other than that, I always see to it that my children are exposed to different environments so that they learn from that.
Right.
So even in the school, if they come up with a problem, I always tell that try to handle yourself. If you cannot, then I will intervene. So that's how I've been doing. But then I feel if all those things are manageable, but then right now they are like in the verge of always trying to argue or talk back with whatever we say. Like one small basic example, like we want to go out in one of the evenings, like especially Thursday evening. And the children don't want to come with us because they want to play with the boys down in the parking lot. They have their friends, so they just want to go out and play with them. They do that the entire week. The weekend is the only time we get to go out with these boys. But then they don't want to come. Then we have to give them a huge explanation as to why we want to have a family time. Because only when we go out, they all are dropping their devices. They are even including my husband. And we get to be as one family at that time. So it's like I have to put up a fight with them to get them into the car and take with them. Still the entire way they will be arguing with me, and then suppose there's no outcome of it, they do not get to have a dinner outside, or they do not get to buy something for themselves outside, they feel it's a waste. So that's not the point of me taking them out. I just want to spend that time with them. So they have to understand that it's a family time. So that I'm not able to put through for them.
Wonderful, wonderful, Javeria. Farah, would you like to add something? Would you like to add something to what Javeria has said? So what do you think is the prime job of a parent?
I feel to give them purity, to give them time, that is very important, because I'm in the field of special education. So I know that how it is difficult for the parents to being as a working mother. It is actually a difficult task to manage both the things. But somehow, the timetable, whatever the child likes, and according to work on that, that is a very important thing. And being a mother of special educator, a special child, it's not an easy task. And although it's not about normal, special kids, it's about for any normal, because nowadays generation are like that. So I feel it is very important to see what they like, what they to understand them first, and before that it's better to take your purity, take yourself as an individual, to take care of yourself first, and then you have to take care of your children.
Lovely. Thank you very much for sharing, Farah. And Miss Lucia, I see your hand up. So I would like.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Alka. Well, we do have a comment by Sumita, and I'll share it with you. So
Sure.
She has mentioned that mix the combination of friend and a parent role. And you can't be a friend always, as how to grow as a good individual should be definitely brought to their knowledge. So thank you to Sumita as well.
Thank you so much, Sumita, for sharing it with us in the chat box. Wonderful. Now, just for Farha, because today's day is, the Empower the Determined session is at 5 o'clock. So Farha, at 5, I'm talking to an expert about the special care and their families and their responsibilities. And this session is dedicated to every child. So it's a very general session now. I finish this session in 30-35 minutes, and then I'm up for another session. So I look forward to have you there if you are, as a special educator, have very specific interest for the children who have multiple challenges. But coming back to the topic, so we as parents believe that we need to be friends with them, but we need to guide them and give them advices as and when they need. And Javeria has shared with us a very specific situation where, they're all the time playing with the friends, and whenever over a weekend they're expected to come along, they aren't there, they don't want to, and they have to be given a lot of explanations and things like those. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, according to me, the only job the parent has is to love, and love in abundance. See, a lot of us believe that it is our job to see to it they get the moral values. It is our job to see to it that they are very constructive human beings. It is our job to see to it that they are very well disciplined. They know how to respect elders and whatnot. And the minute you make that your job, actually you have loads of burden on your shoulders, because every moment you're driven by what your goal is. So all my lovely parents in this group, my only humble request is that your job is only one. And that job is to love them. That's it. The moment we say to love them, where exists love, everything, all other secondary goals can be possible. Where the child trusts you that my parent, even I make the biggest mistake under the sun, I can walk up to my parent and I can share and tell that this happened. Guide me, what should I do? A lot of problems in the society happen because that every parent is loving their children. It's not that you're not loving your children, but you're not expressing to them that you're loving them. Now, the moment the expression is missing, so what we talk about is a lot, they do a lot of good things, but that we say, this is bare minimum expected. But the things which they aren't doing it, we talk about it, isn't it? So our focus remains the half empty, then half full. And the first thing which I request the parents to change is focus on half full. And when base remains the love and love in abundance, everything can be sorted, whatever age or stage it is. So whether it is a teenager or whether it is a young boy. And many a times it is noticed that when the child is upset or misbehaving or doing something which is just not acceptable by you, how do you respond to it? So if the child is angry and you also become angry, then it is a bad scene, because discipline and emotion would not go hand in hand. You have to break it. You can only discipline someone when you have a very calm state of mind. So, my dear lovely parents, first condition, whenever you're trying to mend a child or talk to your child, what I very strongly suggest is a thumb rule is calm voice, calm face, and calm body. So being calm is very important. So say, for example, Zaveria says that, so I plan an outing on a weekend and they show me as if, they're doing a big obligation by coming. So first they will throw 100 questions and they will say, I don't want to come, I want to play with my friends. And then it becomes as if it is my need, the family time. And by the time they are convinced, she's lost it already, because she keeps explaining it to everybody that why family time is needed. So Javeria, thumb number 1 is that calm face, calm body, and calm voice, because we tend to lose our calm voice at a first click. The minute I say, come on, get ready, it's the time to go out, and the little one says, no, I'm not coming, and your voice goes up. Ask yourself, does that happen? And if it does, we need to do something about it. So there is a word we psychologists, we love to coin very complicated words. And one of the words which I love is metacognition. Now, what is metacognition? We know what is cognition. I know that most of us know it, but still, for the sake of everyone, I would like to explain. Cognition is a thought process. Metacognition is that when we see our own thought processes. So when we are raising our voice or shouting at our children or being a bit nasty at times, what is the thought process? So the thought process is, I'm frustrated, I'm angry because, I'm really, really stressed because this young fellow at home does not listen to me, does not follow instructions, very lazy, not going to be a great personality when he grows up. And it is my responsibility to ensure that, he's the best citizen and whatnot. So the burdens on your shoulder that you're trying to make him something which he's not. And then the stress level goes high. So come on, whenever you yell at your child, whenever you lose temper at your child, please go to a metacognitive state. I know that many a times we yell at our children and we feel very bad about it afterwards. So I feel, oh my God, why did I say that? And I would say that you're good for nothing, I hate you. All these things which I don't hate, but I say it because I'm emotionally not under control. I'm angry about something, what he has done or he has said, or I've been asking for n numbers of times, and it is just not happening. So instead of thinking about it after the milk is spilled, it is better to think about it prior. I see Javeria's hand is up. So let's make it very interactive. And I would want, Zaveria, that you unmute yourself and you share what you want to say up here.
Ma'am, I would like to know, is there an exercise to do this? Because like you said, yes, after a particular time, after giving explanation, I do lose my temper, and it goes to the extent where I have to raise my voice to just shut them up, like, so that they stop with the argument. And it's so exhausting. I understand. And I think I had posed this question to you when we were doing ABA also. I wanted to know, what is that one thing if we have to practice on ourselves? Certain things, like we are always doing these exercises on somebody else. So how is it possible that we can do an exercise on oneself to get this improvisation?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Zaveria. And I'm very happy that you've been very honest and open. And that's not only with you or at your place. This is a story of every home, every child, most of the parents. Now, first thing, how do you keep a control on your emotions and yourself? Very good question. And for that, EduScan is there for you free of cost. EduScan conducts the free mindfulness sessions every morning for the community good. And believe it, these sessions are very, very powerful sessions. And they have multitude things into it. So there are subconscious suggestions there are breathing exercises there, laughing exercises there, eye gym, whatnot, which makes you emotionally sorted. And believe it, try doing these sessions where they happen every morning at 6 o'clock. And Ms. Lucia can share the link in the chat box if you're interested. And it comes totally free every morning. Because I know that if parents have a better emotional control, then parents are better parents. So we know that pandemic, this era is so different. So different. So everybody is locked up within the four walls of the home. The children have more of the parents. So when you were meeting less, at least things were manageable. But now everybody is being with each other for a very, very long time. Online classes and now forthcoming holidays. So kids are going to be home 24/7. And when things just don't have your way, it becomes very frustrating. So first thing, my recommendation, all those who are free in the morning and can join in our mindfulness sessions, I very, very strongly recommend it. And it can be for children, it can be for adults, but they are lovely because they believe when the body has higher level of oxygen, you have better control on your emotions. So it is important to do it, and it wouldn't just happen like this, but you are on a path. You start doing it and you will feel different. Coming back to powerful parenting, so we're talking about what do we do. So step number one, we've decided that whenever we are interacting with our children, we'll take 5 deep breaths and then approach. And that time my voice should be calm, my face should be calm, my body should be calm. And believe it, human brain, I'm sure Farah will agree to me, is a God's best creation under the sun. You instruct it and it follows. So just a simple reminder to self, what may happen, I'm not going to lose my cool. I will perform to my best. So how you go on a stage and you act. So if you are an actor and you've been given a role to be Mahatma Gandhi, you act like Mahatma Gandhi. If you're given a role to be a teenager, you act like teenager. But that moment, you control yourself because on stage, you are an actor. You're not who you are, but you've been assigned a role. So here you need to understand that the role which has been assigned to you is of a powerful parent. And your objective is not to let your child go down. Your objective is not to crush the self-esteem of your child. Your objective is not to insult him, but your objective is to get what you want him to do. And believe it, the focus, the minute it shifts from half empty to half full, you will be surprised that things will become so much more possible. So number one, always when you're approaching your children, you have to maintain your cool. And generally, if you think because of n number of stresses in your life, you are not able to be a very cool person, your threshold is low, you tend to lose your temper. To enhance your threshold, the best and the only thing I see in my life is mindfulness. So over and above, I very strongly recommend metacognition, where whenever, so we are not machines, we are human beings. We do plan not to do it, but yet it happens. So in a discussion with your child, so you decided, I'm not going to get angry, I'm not going to raise my voice. So this time Dr. Alka said, I'm going to be a very, very smart mom. And Javeria, you approach your young one. Well, you went pretty well. Half the game played amazingly well and you're very happy about it. But towards the end, something small triggered you and you lost your temper. It's okay. You're not superhuman, you're a human being. And we do many things which you don't want to do it, but it happens. But what is the thumb rule then? It is called 5:1. And what is this 5:1? If you crush the esteem of your child once, because of any reason under the sun, 5 times of efforts you will put in to build the esteem of your child. And how would you do that? By constructive praise, by descriptive praise. So say, for example, you got very angry, you said certain things which you didn't want to say it, and it just happened. So you were nervous, or maybe in my other session, the lady said that, I had an argument with my spouse and I was so angry and I couldn't find anything. So the first thing, my child triggered me and I slapped, and I felt so much of guilty for doing that. If I was into my positive mindset, probably I would not do it. But because I was so upset, my threshold went low and my trigger became faster. Very true. It happens. But then please start following your 5:1 rule. Catch him doing 5 good things. And don't tell me, no, he doesn't do any good thing, doctor. He's totally a spoiled brat. Whatever. You are such a kind-hearted person. Mama loves it. I love it, Suppose he goes and keeps his plate in the kitchen. Oh my God, you're so cooperative. I love it when you do this, So mama is working and you support mama doing the task. Oh my goodness. Not all the children of your age does this. You make this one statement, you will see that he will not forget to do this every day, because you have spoken about what is there, not what is not. The alternative way of talking about this would be, you never support me, you always leave your plates, I'm not the maid of the house, I have to work, I have to pick up the plates, I have to do blah, blah. You will not get what you're looking for. So positive statements will genuinely get you what you are looking for. And the moment you get into your metacognitive state and you realize that you were yelling, you were shouting, you raised your voice, you immediately come down to 5:1 rule and follow that with your children. Is this fine with everyone? Now, coming back to some of you joined us late, what is the job of a parent? The main job of a parent is only to love, and love. That's it. What may happen? See, one thing you all must know, which a lot of us tend to forget, that these children are not going to be with you forever and ever and ever. Look at yourself. Are you all staying with your parents now? No. Some of us will leave home after grade 12. Some of us after graduation. But most of us do step out from our families. And this is a short time they are with you, and you have only chance to work on them now and now alone. So at your home, maybe there is a Gandhi, maybe at your home there is somebody who's a great cricketer, maybe a Sachin Tendulkar, or maybe you have at home somebody who's a great scientist, maybe an Einstein out there. You don't know who you are rearing up. You don't really know their future. They're young, they're under you. But if you do the powerful parenting, they will reach where they deserve to reach. But if you are crushing their esteem in the good interest of them and in the trust of making them the best human beings and most disciplined children, and I've often seen parents quoting examples of neighbors, of friends' kids, of relatives. Look at that child, how well behaved he is. My God, look at so and so's child. Look at the way he's interacting with adults. My God, you have no way you communicate to your own parents. Please, for God's sake, don't think giving and setting examples. You don't really know what's happening behind in that family as well. Now, what you see at the surface and you start praising that, you think you are setting the right example for your child. But the right way to do it, focus on his good things. And every parent will have 100 things which you can appreciate in your child. Start appreciating by descriptive praise and see the difference. Another thing which I would like to see. So say, for example, you want your child to do something which he isn't doing, so you're very, very unhappy. So say, for example, your young 5-year, 6-year-old, as Javeria said, he got up and it's the time for the bus to come in 20 minutes and he's just not ready to bus and he's throwing tantrums, I'm not going to school today. And you're getting nervous and you're raising your voice, how dare you do this? You will miss your bus. Come on, get up, daughter. And you're so angry. You say, how can you do this right in the morning? What is the reason now? Always remember, lovely parents, that there are certain things, I call it ABC and AUC. ABC is all beyond control. AUC is all under control. Now, whenever you're dealing with your child, be it a teenager or a younger lad, the point is, whatever issue you're discussing, either it is under control or it is beyond your control. So what you need to do is do your assessment, and whatever the behavior is, you need to give your child an option. So this one says, I'm not getting ready. I'm not going to school today. I've decided I'm not going to school. And then you say, why? How can you decide? You're not the decision maker. You have to go to school. Come on, get ready. Da, da, da. We will miss the bus. And you're very angry right in the morning. Yeah, it happens. But now, the only thing what you need to know is, always remember that your instructions should be driven by the results. And you need to ask your little one who says, I'm not going to school. You give only 2 options. So you say, are you getting ready yourself? Or do you want mama to help you to get ready? And suppose your child comes up with a 3rd option. He said, none. I'm not going to school there. Now, always remember that. If he chooses any out of the 2, so if he says, so you have a possibility. So he may say, all right, I will get ready. I don't need your help. And I'm going with a sulking face. He decides to get ready. At least the action begins. He may choose the second one. There is all the probability that you say, all right, I want you to help me and blah, blah. And all right, so you are up there. The 3rd time, the child says, no, I still don't want to do it. So you gave a choice. So it's very important for you to understand what the reason is. And the reason can be reasonable or unreasonable. You don't really know. Irrespective of that, whatever the 3rd option comes, then you have to take a call depending upon the need or the request, whether you will keep this condition under your control or under his control. But there is a very systematic procedure of following it. So many a times the parents will erupt the volcano at the very onset of when the moment the child says something which is just not acceptable. So please hold your horses on. Do this process. Many a times by doing the process, it gets resolved 80% of the time. 20% of the time, then you need to take over the control. Now, say, for example, you have a teenager, and the teenager, you've assigned him a responsibility. that on a Saturday or a Friday lunchtime, you will take the garbage and throw it in the chute. And it is the lunchtime already. And you give one example, but it's your time to go and take the garbage, and he's playing on his iPhone. He gives you a deaf ear. And then you very sweetly say, your time to do this. Ma, I'm playing. And now, third time you've lost it already. So as we were talking, and Zaveria said that, many times it happens that you start very positive and once or twice you go very loving and caring, but you don't see a move up there. And then you lose it and you say, come on, how dare? Like only once a week you're helping your mother. That also never happens on time. I only have to do it. And then you get into that kind of tone. Very simple. Are you going to do it or do you want me to do it? But if you want me to do it, you have to pay the price for it. And you can ask for anything as an alternative. And believe it, my family, my child will never ask me to do anything because that's more expensive. Expensive not in terms of money, but in terms of deed, and you can always make so. So if I do this task for you, I will do it. But in turn, this is my clause because I am doing something which you're expected to do. And that is how you resolve the problem more conveniently and comfortably. One thing which I always would like to tell all of you parents, your job is not to make them the best human being, very ethical, very driven, very successful in life, and so on and so forth. The list of things, if I ask each one of you, would come up. Your job is only to love and love and love. And love does miracles. In a lot of growing children, when I come across, it's so painful to see when they come up and say that my parents don't love me. Because it's not that you don't love them, but you never express that. So every time when you're talking about, you're only talking about what's not there. You give it a blind eye to the things which are there. So a little one cannot understand. Instead of saying, don't run, you can alternatively say, please walk. Instead of saying, don't shout, you can say, speak softly. So you have the positive statements. But the fact remains that you're so driven by these negative statements. The best part I would like to share, I was talking to an ex-student of mine this morning, and she's in London. So she called me and she said, oh, ma'am, I'm so happy sitting here. I make sure me and my husband, we watch all your reels and, all your Insta messages. And they have a little baby girl and they're sitting in the garden. And then she turns the camera and she said, this is my little baby, believe it, we are rearing up following all your instructions. Then she said, hey, don't drop the mud out there. And she said, oh, sorry. Baby, can you please put it right in the corner out there? And I felt so good. So the mother realized, so she started, hey, don't. So the kid had a lot of mud in the house and they were sitting on a mat in the garden and she was throwing it like this. It was a game for her. And the first statement came, hey, don't do this, when the camera was towards her. So I literally saw the act of the child. And she said, sorry. So baby, can you please put the mud out of the mat? And that was a simple statement. So many a times we tell our children, don't do this. But we don't tell them what to do alternatively. And we expect that young little 5-year-old mind or a 6-year-old mind understand it to the tone you want it. So the moment you shout and say, don't throw it on the mat, but what to do with that mud? So she has it out there, give a solution. Don't focus on problem. Solutions will make relationships stronger, and believe it, when your relationship with your child is stronger, your child is a happier person and you are a happier person. And then you can get amazing things out of you. Well, I've been stuck to what I've been saying, but I see a lot more parents up here. I would like you people to make it more interactive and let's listen to you. So share with us how old are your children and the kind of the challenges you're facing so that we can deal with one-to-one your interest. And if anybody has any comments, or if Ms. Lucia has something from the chat box, feel free and share with us. So should we expect Nasreen? I see a screen named Nasreen. Nasreen, can you introduce yourself and tell us that do you have children and how old are they? And if you want me to be more focused about that age, I would love to do that.
Good evening, ma'am. Very, useful messages for parents like us. I have 2 grown-up children. One is in college final year 5, and daughter is in grade 10. Both are grown up. So yes, I also do have faced all the problems that you said. In fact, I posted a question in the chat where they are grown up, so they understand the facts or the techniques that we are using already, and so it becomes even more challenging to deal with them. Yes, we are learning a lot of techniques by ourselves, but still, if you have more advice on the same, I would like to hear the same. And I work in Delhi Private School, Sharjah, as a special educator, ma'am. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nasreen. It's indeed a pleasure to have you here. Thanks a lot. And I say Saad Khan. So Saad, can you unmute yourself and share about yourself? If we know your children.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am. I'm father of Arslan, who is enrolled in your institute for NIOS 12th grade.
All right, wonderful.
He was a student of Nasreen ma'am also in DPS. So okay. She knows much better about him. And he has learning issues, a lot of issues. So maybe I'll come and discuss in detail again.
Certainly. Thank you so much for sparing your Saturday afternoon to learn. And I said that is how we make it a stronger community. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks a lot. So do we have anybody else, or Ms. Lucia, do you have anything to mention from the chat box?
No, Doctor, whatever has been sort of stated, I've shared with you. Now we have posted also the link for the meditation in the morning. So that's lovely. So we encourage our community to participate in that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I see another person, Irasha, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us if you have any questions and how old are your children? All right, so we do not have a participation from there. Feel free to write it in the chat box if you want. So just to conclude it in a nutshell, whenever we are approaching our children, we need to keep it in mind: calm voice, calm face, and calm body. Number 2, the job as a parent is to love, love, and love. And as I have 2, 3 now special educators in the group, let me tell you, any challenge under the sun your child has or your students have today is an era of solutions, and everything is possible. I have not seen non-readers undergoing a dyslexia correction program at the age of 12 and 13 and have started to read like parrots. They love reading now. They were hungry to read. So non-readers, non-writers, getting down to doing that. There are tools and techniques available to support them. Any kind of an unwanted behavior, AB and then applied behavior analysis is a more scientific tool, can be used to correct any behavior of a child. But yes, we need to know it and we need to use it, and in turn bringing a change. Talking about children, when we are dealing with our children, always remember discipline and emotion. You cannot have both together. You cannot be emotionally upset and try to discipline yourself. When you say, the action speaks louder than words, so how you behave, your children follow you. If you lose your temper and you're preaching your young one not to lose temper, then he actually sees you before he even listens to you. So please be the role model and expect them to do what you can actually do it with them. Losing temper, any parent, any adult who's emotionally not sorted actually cannot give this to a young one. You can always give something to someone if you have it with you. So if you have a calm body, a calm face, then only you can expect your child to be well behaved. So you give a long lecture of being well behaved, but you aren't. So that will be a big, big challenge and a very difficult. So my dear lovely parents, let's keep these 4 things as a base of today. And I will meet you again now. I've started doing this series every Friday and Saturday on the same topic so that the parents are free on Friday they attend or a Saturday. So we will come up with the next topic, which I'm sure will reach you very soon. And post this, sharp at 5, I am starting my Empower the Determined series where we are talking about the families of the children with challenges to be very, very focused on. So if you guys are free, I would request you to join us. But otherwise, the tips of the day is whenever you lose your temper, you shout or you yell at your child, please do metacognition. Think about your thinking. What was your cause of frustration, of anger, of stress? Many times, the child is not the only reason. It could be something from the workplace. It could be something with your spouse. It could be something from your neighbor. You are angry and you take your anger out on the young child because he cannot harm you the way others can. And that's a very, very psychological phenomena. So once you get into your metacognition, you are able to understand. And then 5:1 rule. If you've heard them once, you have to go 5 times, healing the wound. So wound is already created. You're human being, they're human being, but you must take initiative to heal the wound. With this, we close the talk today. Thank you so much. I would like to inform you all, EduScan is running the summer camps online and on physical campuses. We do have programs full of therapies at a very, very affordable rate during the summer holidays. To my message to special educators is Nasreen and Farah that if you have children, because this year a lot of children are not traveling, so we have very specified programs for our determined ones. So who have any challenges, we have occupational therapies, we have speech therapy, behavior therapy, combination, all sorted for these children during the summertime. We also have programs for general children on leadership training, where we have public speaking, creative thinking, memory and concentration, mindfulness, which is very, very close to my heart, eye gym, brain gym, art and craft, and what not. We have all this available online as well as on campus. So we have campuses in Dubai, we have 2 campuses. Probably the 3rd one gets sorted very, very fast. So all across the Dubai, and we also have a center in Sharjah. Please feel free and you can connect to our team. Maybe Ms. Lucia, you can share the telephone number to contact Ms. Benita's number at 055
Sure. I'll share that. Shall I post it, Doctor?
Yes, please.
I'll do that. I'll just write it down now. I'll type it.
Me and Miss Lucia, we both are at your service at EduScan. Miss Lucia remains our parent executive. So if you have any challenges, anything happening during the camp time, we address it immediately. So it's all ready for your children. Instead of letting these little ones be at home, sleep till late, and become very lazy and lethargic, and then later complain about it, it's better we think about it ahead of time and plan something for children. Thank you very much for sparing your time, as I'm committed for my next talk at 5 o'clock. If you guys are free, look forward to see you there. Thank you very much for coming today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. See you.
Everyone. Thanks again, Dr. Alka. Happy summer, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Alka.
Bye-bye.